evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Today, we're going to be watching Troy Emmons piloting a Magician Majespecter build versus Oscar Valez, and he's piloting Domain Monarchs. As you guys can see, he is set up really nice by summoning Aether to Erebus and then Pantheism to add Tenacity. Tenacity is going to add another Pantheism, and then he's going to discard the Prime Monarch for 2 more cards. On his end phase, he's going to banish the Return of the Monarchs to special summon the Prime, and then add Erebus back to his hand. You really can't get better than starting off with a play like this. Oscar has set himself up for a really strong game 1, and hopefully this presence can give him exactly what he's looking for. Troy is going to counter with a Pendulum Call, discarding a card from his hand to add Zhang Magician and Oath Dragon Magician from his deck to his hand. You guys won't believe how many times I've watched this. It's almost obvious how many times I've watched this, since I already know what they're going to do before they do it. But hey, you guys love the commentary because it's actually ahead of time. Next, he's going to activate Summoner's Art, and that's going to add Dragon Pit Magician to his hand. For the people that don't know, Dragon Pit Magician is a very interesting card against the Monarch matchup, mainly because it's a instant out to Domain. All he has to do is discard or have a Pendulum Magician monster in his other scale, discard a Pendulum scale, and then destroy a spell or trap on his opponent's side of the field. That would effectively allow him to be able to special summon from his extra deck. Now, he's going to summon Majespecter Banbaku. Banbaku's going to search Kirin, and now he's going to pin for 3. And in those pin summons, he's got a Zhang Magician, an Odd Eyes, and a Kirin. That's awesome. Oscar's going to counter with the Monarch Storm 4th, tributing the, I believe he tributed the Banbaku. I thought the Odd Eyes Magician, or the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon was actually tributed, but it's not. With that, he's going to special summon Karaz, and Karaz is going to continue to blow up the Odd Eyes and itself for both players to draw 1 card. Now, a pretty bad misplay by Troy. If I'm reading correctly, Zhang Magician actually allows him to negate Light Monster's effects, but nobody really reads the card that much because, I don't know, but maybe seeing that you're, a Magician player, you probably would know what the card should do. But hey, one misstep doesn't necessarily cost you the game. I mean, especially when, he gets to draw a card off of Karaz's effect. Oscar's going to go ahead and search or activate the effects of the Monarch Stormforth, and this might be a very quick game 1, as Troy has limited his options are very limited, losing most of his cards, and then Erebus bouncing the Dragon Pit Magician down or to his deck, and then Oscar attacking for I believe 3,900 damage. Because Domain is on the field, when his Monarch monster attack, it gains 800 attack. So this is a really good conundrum. This is a really big conundrum for Troy, and a really good advantage for Oscar, allowing him to establish a board early and often. Erebus plus Aether is probably going to give your opponent a lot of devastation. Troy is going to normal summon Banbaku. Pretty sure that's going to search him another Kirin. And now he's deciding on his play. He's going to Pendulum summon, but you can't summon from extra deck while Domain is on the field because, he has a tribute summon monster. With that, he's just going to go ahead and go from his hand, normal special summon another Majespecter, Oath Dragon, and Kirin. This will be really interesting to see what Oscar does. He's going to bounce the Kirin to bounce the Erebus. That's interesting. That's very interesting. But then he's going to go ahead and lose them both, because it's back to Oscar's turn. He's just going to normal summon the Erebus, or tribute summon the Erebus again. Now, this might look like some advantages for Troy, but I'm going to let you guys know a little secret. Both of his monsters gain 800 attack each when they attack into the Majespecter Banbakus. This might not be very advantageous for Troy, seeing that he only has 4,100 life points. If you guys can do the math, Oscar Valez is going to reveal to make Erebus 6. Then he's going to tribute summon for the same Erebus, activate its effect to bounce a scale, because you probably want those Banbakus face up on the field right now. And now he's going to attack for that maximum damage with both Erebus and Aether into the Banbakus, thoroughly putting game on the board. So that's how you steal game 1. Oscar Valez gets the win, and let's get on to game 2. Very exciting games to see. Alright guys, we are on to game 2, and hopefully it's exciting as game one. If Oscar rips the nuts again, then we're probably going to be all a little sad, because it doesn't really matter what Troy's does. Going into this matchup, you probably don't want to go second if you are Troy playing Majespecters, and the reasoning why is because if Oscar is allowed to get his domain play again, then Troy is probably not going to be able to go into his extra deck, and going into the extra deck just might be a little, you know, just a little good for this deck. So Troy is going to activate the effects of Pendulum Call, discarding one card from his hand, which is another Pendulum Call, to add 2 Magician monsters from his deck to a hand, Oak Dragon Magician and Dragon Pit Magician respectively. He's going to special summon Majespecter Kieran and then pass his turn. Oscar's going to Pantheism into his Prime Monarch. Now, I mean, for the people that don't play Monarchs, if you Pantheism any of your Monarch cards, the card you want to Pantheism is the Prime Monarch. So, I mean, him ripping that turn 1 is pretty savage. I don't know how he gets all of these amazing draws. He's going to activate Domain. Reveal, I believe, which would have been an Aether, or actually an Erebus. Tribute the Kieran for the Erebus, so that's pretty savage. And I'm pretty sure he's going to use that to return a scale, which is the Dragon Pit Magician, back to the deck. This is not good. 2,800 damage to Troy, bringing him down at 5,200. Troy trying to make a comeback. He's gonna activate Dark Hole. Oh my God, Dark Hole's too savage. Hopefully Troy can make a board. For the people that don't know, what Dark Hole basically did was allow him, you know, basically to get into his extra deck, because now Oscar doesn't have a Tribute Summon monster. Oscar's going to special summon Red Layer, then he's going to activate Pantheism, gain the Stormforth, and here's where he messes up. He's going to activate the Stormforth, and Troy, like a very smart player, is going to chain the effect of Kieran, bouncing it to his hand to bounce the Red Layer. Now, if Oscar would have did the exact same thing and not special summoned the Red Layer, he would have been perfectly fine, but, you know, sometimes that's just how life be. He's going to activate the Prime Monarch, then normal summon his Idea for Eidos, and now he's going to Tribute Summon for another Erebus to his side of the field. This is just getting real nasty, and that's gonna return Troy's second scale. If you guys aren't getting the ploy of this, Erebus is here just to return scales to mess with Troy. Returning scales to the deck is even worse than destroying them, because you can't even use them for pin anymore, because obviously they're in the deck and not in the pin zone. He's gonna swing for an additional 2,800 damage, putting Troy at 2,400. Now here's a critical point for Troy. What does he have? Oh my God, another Dark Hole. Where is this man getting these Dark Holes from? That's crazy. Oscar in response is going to special summon the Prime Monarch after Dark Hole resolves. That's going to give him some formidable defense, and probably saying that Oscar isn't going to get OTK'd. It's very safe to say that. Troy's going to set one back row, and you guys already know what's going to happen. Eidos to Idea to Mithra, and we could be looking at a double Tribute Summon. Not nice for this right now. He's going to go ahead and activate his Pantheism, reveal 3, get the Storm, or the Return of the Monarchs. This is over, guys. You know, Erebus is going to return the face down monster, and that's pretty much game, set, match. He's allowed to Tribute Summon twice. There's really not much else to say. It's nothing really much else to commentate. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. You normally don't see me in games early, but, you know, this is pretty nasty by Monarchs. I hope you guys did enjoy watching Domain Monarchs. If you guys want to see any other type of duels, just let me know. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.